Welcome to Spiritual Psychic with Sara Wiseman, where you'll learn how to unlock the secrets of spiritual intuition and your own psychic gifts. Here's Sara.
Welcome to Spiritual Psychic. I'm Sara Wiseman. Let's just take a deep breath right now and kind of center in as we begin this particular teaching. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. We're going to talk today about the power of expectation. The power of expectation. You know, we're each working on our expansion, right? And sometimes it's a lot of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, and it's a slow slog at parts of understanding because it's so different than what we've been taught. It's so different, this expansion, than what you have been taught your entire life to believe. Why would it be that we were brought into a world in which so many of the belief systems are incorrect? And so here we are waking up in the middle of it, sort of like going through a game of sorting through, gold in a pan. Like, here's a rock. Here's another rock. Here's another misbelief. Here's another old superstition. Here's another old fear. Here is the gold, the alchemy, the way of creating the new world. I sometimes get stuck in the trap of believing what, and I'm going to put this in quotes, everyone believes, or thinking what everyone thinks, even though, and by everyone I mean, the great unawakened consciousness that is still on the planet, sort of peeking their heads up, sort of starting to awaken, but a lot just snoozing away, the snoring sound of the world, still asleep, all those souls. And I sometimes get stuck believing this kind of group thought, even though in my heart, the heart is where the soul resides, even though in my heart I know it's wrong or incorrect or not accurate. Here's an example. So the other day, I needed to drive my son to the airport, send him back to college after a break, Oregon to Montana, after a long weekend or vacation time. So, everyone, put this in quotes again, knows the traffic is going to be terrible on Sunday after a holiday, right? Oh my gosh, the traffic's going to be everyone's coming back from their vacation Sunday, and then the airport's going to be busy, everyone's flying out, and the security's going to be really tight, and everyone's going to be cranky, and it's just, it's really going to be this stressful, tense, competitive, angry, freaked out trip, right? Sunday afternoon, driving to the airport. Gosh, that's bad planning. I wish we hadn't done it this way. Except, absolutely none of this came to pass. I have this thing where sometimes I am guided to leave on a trip at a certain time. Like, I'll think I'm going to be leaving at one time, and then the universe will say, no, you need to leave now, a half hour early. Or, no, it's not time for you to leave yet. You're going to wait, even though it doesn't make sense, and you're going to leave now, this time later. And I always just super pay attention to my internal receiving of when to be in flow of nowness right? Not talking about what hour or what minute, but when to enter the flow of nowness on a particular thing that I'm doing. So my son and I, we just entered into this. We left late, I believe. We did not leave at our self-appointed time. We did not leave at the time we discussed. I don't remember why, but we just, of mutual energetic accord, left at a different time when we were both guided. No stress, no hassle. And the interesting thing was that the weather was perfect. You know, it's winter here as I'm recording, and the weather was ideal. No rain, no snow, none of those things that make traveling difficult. And the traffic was simple. It was as if the universe had cleared a path for us. And many times we found ourselves driving in those big pockets of nobody being around you. And not nobody being around you for a few cars, but nobody. Like we're on the highway and like there's nobody there. Almost like, whoa, what's going on? There's nobody on the highway. And it's like we're in this bubble of flow, right? And then as we go to the airport, it's like it doesn't seem particularly busy. It seems kind of like easy, mellow, effortless, fun. It seems fun. And we drive into the parking structure and they're right in front of the crossover to the terminal parking spot, right there. Like the best parking spot that you could get is right there with its little green light blinking. And we saunter across the overpass just like, yeah, we're just like rock stars of the universal flow. Everything's so awesome. And the relaxation and the joy and the bliss and the vibrational aspect, and everyone who's there, it's just simple. It's just easy, as if we had crossed to another dimensional experience of what it's like to be at the airport on a busy Sunday, because we had crossed over to another dimensional experience by virtue of our vibration. And I must add, my son is like extraordinarily, like most of these younger people, extraordinarily gifted in all of this stuff. He'll be your teacher later. He'll be a teacher. So we're holding this little droplet of flow that we're situated in. We're holding it, and everyone around it has been attracted, who's also in this vibration. We have basically crossed into some kind of parallel universe airport, and we're going to do that airport instead of the regular old stressed out, angry, fear-based, security-based 3D situation. We're in another dimension doing our journey that way. And in fact, the security lines were so minimal. We had to like waste time and go look at the shops. We're like, there's no, like, are you just supposed to walk through? Like, there's not even any people monitoring the security. Let's just go look at some stuff because we're too early. And so we just went with this idea of just showing up to the experience, you know, kind of having in mind that it could be bad, and then lifting off in this sense of very full involvement in high energy vibration. And the result, of course, is that it's easy. And what everyone else thinks, what the media tells you, usually leads you astray. And how often have you, looked at your stock market account, or looked at a report on the news about a disease coming to your area, you know, the communicable disease, or looked at some other kind of fear-based report. And when you receive that information, there are sort of two choices. There's one choice like, oh no, everything's scary and horrible, and I'm going to need to get my flu shot, and I'm going to have to straighten out my finances, and there's these mosquito-borne and so all of this comes in as fear and low vibration. Or you can be like, that's sort of in somebody's reality, but in the reality that I inhabit in my life, I'm not really a part of that. I'm in a different dimension. You can be in a different dimension. That reality that the world tells you exists is just one choice. And you can just decide, hey, you know what? Don't want to be there. And you'll find yourself, like I frequently find when walking around somewhere, like it feels like, maybe you've had this happen too, it feels like nobody sees me because my vibration is different, and your vibration you can choose to have your vibration be different upon the planet than fear-based, anger-based, apocalypse, etc. Right? And of course, when you're in a place, people who see spirits easily, spirits don't just spirits don't just show up, like they're always there. It's that we can choose to inhabit that vibration, that multidimensional vibrational level, that layer level of the universe that we call reality. So maybe for some of you, you can see spirits, you can sense trees, you can see the energy between the energy that it inhabits all things in this particulate essence that we are. And then in the same way, you find yourself inhabiting a different vibrational level than most of the world that is still asleep and fear-based. You're just not in it with them. You're going somewhere else. Or just invite you to kind of try this out. Like, what happens if you experiment with this? Whatever you desire and hope and want, long for. We're not talking law of attraction. We're not talking about making a big list of your demands and then repeating it over and over and over until the universe acquiesces. We're not talking about law of attraction, old method. It's scary to come out and say law of attraction is an old method. It's scary. But it is. It's old. It's part of superstitious past. It's partly right. It's partly right, but it's not all right. The heart is where the soul resides. The universe listens to the opening of your heart. This is what we call consciousness. You want to live on a higher level? Open your heart. Expand yourself and go do that. Fully available to you right this second. When you are awakened, you're walking on the awakened path, and this is where you can be. This is what you can choose in every moment. Thank you, everyone. You're listening to Sara Wiseman. You'll find me at sarawiseman.com.